You notice a problem there? Just right click, arrange, and send it to the back. Everything's fine now in the House of Chrome card, or House of MC Chrome Front, and that's actually been named MN Chrome Front, which is not what we want. You can double click on it in the library. Is it MN? Yes, it is. It'll be at the bottom because it's spelled wrong, MN. Change that to MC. Fine. And let's go to MC Chrome card and get rid of this Firefox front. Hit delete and drag in one of the MC Chrome fronts. There. Make sure it sits at 0 by 0. Okay. And what has that done to our animation? Well, the tween still exists, and it still tweens, and it goes over to the Cat5, and then back to Firefox, of course. But Firefox isn't what we want in our Chrome card, so let's try taking this last keyframe and just select tool, select the Firefox front, delete that, grab the Chrome front, throw it in, make sure it sits at 0 by 0, and hope for the best. And we scroll that, we see we still have our little foxy Firefox. So let's go over here to frame 45 on the front side, and just to make sure we're not accidentally clipping the back side, I'm going to make that invisible so it doesn't get in our way. Use the select tool, click on there, double check that it does say MC Firefox front, hit delete, drag in an MC Chrome front, and give it the modifiers that it needs to have to be an edge-on view. So we'll set it to width 1, put its X at 40, which is the half point, put its Y at 0, and let's see how that tween has survived, and sure enough it comes up with our Chrome symbol. So now we've, if I make the backside visible again, we'll see that we have a nice working Chrome card. How fun is that? To do the exact same thing with a different, what did I say? I was going to use Safari here, Safari card. Open that up, and let's start, before we get anywhere, to make a new symbol for MC Safari front. Yeah, that's what I'm calling them. Make it a movie clip. Safari. How about Safari? There. Okay. And we're inside MC Safari front, and we'll do another import into the library of Safari 92 by 92. Now, the other handy thing about this aspect lock ratio down here that I'm toggling is if you did have a movie clip that happened not to be square and you wanted it to fit into a square spot, say you had something that was 92 by 70 and you wanted it to go into an 80 by 80, you'd keep this lock turned on and just adjust the larger number down to the size that you want so that the smaller number would fit inside and not overhang, and that way you could just drop it inside of a bigger box. Let's do a little experiment here and see if I can import something from that folder and just show you that. Import from library. Do I have something that's a funny dimension? No, I was really careful to make sure that everything is nice and square. Oh well. We've resized this inside the MC Safari front movie clip to be 80 by 80. Let's make sure it's 0 by 0. Great. And let's go into the MC Safari card and do the same thing we did with Chrome. Delete Firefox, drag in Safari front, make sure it sits at 0 by 0. Make the backside invisible. Grab the Firefox from the edge on view, make sure it's Firefox, hit delete, grab in Safari front, and give it its edge on treatment, if you will. Like so. Have a look at that tween, and it pops to Firefox at the end, so we'll just pop that Firefox out, throw in a Safari, throw it at 0 by 0, and that looks to me like a perfectly reasonable Safari card. It does kind of look like Firefox in the middle there, but you know what? If we make our backside visible again, that doesn't matter at all. So, we now have 3 different cards And you'll notice that our library is getting fairly crowded. So what we can do is just throw in a folder here, and let's say fronts, card fronts. We can throw those in there. So that goes up at the top, and let's just shift click to grab these images that we have. Oh, let's not shift click on that. Let's control click to grab these images and drop those into that folder. Let's take movie clip cat 5 because that sits inside back of card. We don't need it. Chrome front, we won't need that anymore because it sits in Chrome card. Same thing with the other fronts. We'll just drop them into there. Okay, that has cleaned things up a little bit. You can of course go a little crazier if you want with say making a screens folder and just take the various screens that we've made and drop them in there. That sort of thing is fine. Let's go right back to the stage, to scene 1, and we can see that because we changed our default card movie clip to be the Firefox card movie clip, that is what we have in our whole game board. So let's open up game board again and zoom out just a little bit. Let's delete all of these Firefox cards, chunk, and make a nice mix of some Chrome and some Safari and some Firefox. Let's do a little bit like that and a little bit like that. I'm just going to throw these up there now, and we'll use our handy arrange tricks to sort these out later. Grab some Safari, and we have another row there. Let's put in another Safari, another Chrome, why not another Fox, and another Chrome. And when I mentioned those align tricks, of course, grab your select tool, grab the top row, and align them vertically, distribute them horizontally. Take the next row, do the same thing, align them vertically, and distributing them horizontally isn't that important, but it makes them look nicer at this step. Align vertically, distribute horizontally, align vertically, distribute horizontally, and this is the important one. Grab the edge parts and align them. Let's align them to the left and distribute them vertically. Now we'll do that. Is that right? Yeah, we'll do that with each of these. I'm just going to grab this one here and move it a little bit over, move that one a little bit over, because the top one has been distributed, so I want it to be the far edge. In this case, the top one, which has been distributed by the Align tab, is the far right edge. So we'll align to the right. Now it looks to me like these ones are out of whack. You have to pay a little bit of attention to what you're doing with the Align tab. And there. Okay. Align right again. Move these over to the left so that the one that has already been aligned is the farthest right, and then align right, and move these a little bit to the right so the one that is farthest left is the one that's been aligned, and align left. And that looks like a pretty good square. Yeah, there's a bit of a gap there. Let's highlight them so we can see them. Okay, we've aligned our left row but not the other three, so let's align these horizontally. The one that has been aligned is the highest, so we'll align top. Let's move these three down just a little bit so that the one that's been aligned is the highest and align top, and we'll move these three down a bit so the one that has been aligned is highest and align top.